Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Nails by Stephanie. I hope you are doing well. We are doing another manicure today with my client Carly, and oh my God, this is, I think, the fastest manicure I've done on her in a while. The past two sets took like 3.5, 4 hours, 4.5 hours. They were really long sessions. This one clocked in at about 2.5 hours, which is more the norm. I don't know if I felt like I was really, um, on my game. Things just came together really easily, and it was also a little bit less of an in-depth manicure. But we are doing a wedding set, not her wedding, a wedding she was going to. She wanted something a little bit more elegant. I had a reference image that we used, and also the nail set that you would have seen last week with the green ombre that I did on myself with the gold leaves and the flowers was also very similar to what we're doing today. Just this one is going to be white, a white ombre with a, did I do a matte flower? I think it was finished off matte, but we will see it at the end. But yeah, so going in with our Builder Gel backfill, she has a Gel X set on. This is the second, or rather the first fill on it. Usually I only do one fill. It depends on how long my client's nails are. Hers are relatively short. I would deem them active length. And it's a minor miracle that she didn't need any replacements with this set because she works in tech. And let's just say that her set melted, or at least the design melted off because the laminator machine was broken at work and she needed to fix it, and it kind of destroyed her manicure a week after I did it. So unfortunately, she didn't get the full longevity out of the design, but at least her nails themselves didn't melt off, and they were really well preserved and intact, and I just had to do the basic backfill, which was wonderful. I had full anticipation of having to do a full new set on her, but thankfully we didn't have to go into that. So just using Light Elegance, their clear Build Gel, part of the Jimmy Gel line. I will link it down below. Absolutely my favorite. I do need to get a new bottle in the next few weeks. Things have been really slow here at the salon, unfortunately, and starting to enter into panic mode. It is September 2nd as of recording this, and I only have 3 clients this week. So hopefully things will start to pick up. I don't really know what else to do at this point to advertise myself. But yeah, send help, send support, send emotional support, please. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, it's a really wonderful product. Hopefully I will have the money to replenish it. But just going to go and finish her right hand, go on to her left hand. Really, she doesn't have much growth to have to worry about. Plus, as I said, there was no damage to the nails, so no areas really to fill in except for the natural growth. So putting a small bead of gel at the cuticle line, fading it up the nail, making sure it blends well into that cuticle line and the side walls with my liner brush, and then flash curing it before moving on to the next nail. I'm going to go ahead and do her left hand now. Yes, her left hand, my right. And then we're going to get into the design. All right, so for the base color on the ombre, I'm using TYY010 from Tiny. It is a syrup gel. It blends beautifully. And yeah, I love Tiny as a brand. Their polishes go on very smoothly. They have wonderful selection of colors, and they're always coming out with new series to play along with. I haven't gotten anything in the recent past because honestly, at this point, I don't really need to add to my collection. But if anything really interesting comes out into the holiday season and I have some extra money to play around with, then I'll go in and grab something. But for right now, um, I think I need to stick with what I've got. But I'm going to do 2 coats on each finger with 010. I do know that these colors have names to them, but it's in Korean on the label, so I will link it down below. But for suffice to say, for right now, it's just a number designation. But yes, I'm going in with 2 coats on each finger. I then went in and I matte top coated so that we can go ahead and do the ombre. Now, a lot of times I will go in and I will do it with the gel, but because I have this white pigment powder and it fades really easily, I prefer to use that. It is the white pigment powder from Magpie Beauty. I don't have it right in front of me, so I don't know what the name of it is. I don't think it's just white. I think it does have a name to it. But that will be below also in the description box. So I'm just using a stiff bristled brush, and I'm starting at the very tip with I can't even say, how much I'm using. I'm just making sure that I focus the bulk of the powder at the tip so that way I can focus it, fade it out. If you go really heavy in the center of the nail to start, it's going to be really difficult to blend it. So you just want to put the bulk of it at the tip and then, fade it out as you go up the nail. And then if you have a softer bristled brush, you can go ahead and use that to blend out the line if you need to do so. So did her right hand, now going in with her left hand, and then once I have all the nails the way I want to, yeah. So there was something on the nail that was causing it to kind of cake up, and it wasn't blending smoothly. So I just took a little bit of acetone, wiped the nail, and started over again. What was I saying? Yeah, so going to go ahead and finish the ombre on both hands, and then I am going in with another coat of matte top coat so that I can go in and paint in the leaves. I will be using Madame Glam's white gel paint in a pot and my 7mm. Yes, my 7mm liner brush from Melody Susie. So with this part of the design, I'm going in very loosely. I really don't have a pattern that I'm following. I'm just basically drawing in the outline of what would be the French manicure, but turning it into vines. So kind of wibbly wobbly, not straight curve, just going up through the tip of the nail and around in some sort of curved manner. As I said, no real pattern that I'm following or rule, just, wherever the whimsy takes me. And then putting in some dots to then pull down towards the main branch of the vine to create those stems and offshoots and create, the overall feeling of foliage. I usually do about 3 leaves per branch. Just that seemed about right to me. Don't want to overload it. It does kind of have like a wintry feeling to it, a holiday. When I was doing my own nails, it was feeling very antler, like reindeer antlers. But maybe we'll revisit this and make it a little bit more festive come the holiday season. But I'm going to do all 10 nails, flash curing them as I go. I'm trying not to flash it for too long because when we go into chrome, we will need to flash it again, and I don't want to over cure it before going in with the chroming because then the chrome won't take. So really only flashing it for about 2-3 seconds just so that there's no chance of me hitting it and it getting disturbed or damaged rather. And then when she goes and puts her hand in the lamp, it'll be for 25 seconds. So this hand is now flash cured. I'm going in with a shadow application, eyeshadow applicator, and I'm just dipping it in what's the residue that's on the cap of the pot and brushing it, scrubbing it into the gel top, the white gel paint. Now, usually, if you're going to go and do a full cover chrome effect all over the nail, you want to use a non-stick top coat, a no wipe top coat. I've found through doing it myself and watching other people's videos, Madam Glam gel paints work very well for isolated chroming because they are non-tacky. If you were to decide last minute, you've already done the top coat on your client or yourself, and you decide at the last minute that you want to add a design, you can definitely go in and add a design with Madam Glam's gel paints, and then you just cure it and go. You don't need to re-top coat over it because it dries non-tacky. So it really helps a lot when you're doing isolated designs with chrome to use a gel paint like Madam Glam and go in and do that design, and then you can just go and chrome it, flash cure as you would with your no wipe top coat. 25 depends on the length of the cure for the gel paints that you're using. Madam Glams are 60 seconds in a UV light, 2 minutes in an LED. So go at half cure. So if you're using the UV light and you're curing for 60 seconds normally, you would cure for 25 to 30 seconds. And if you're using the LED light, you would cure for a minute approximately, which would be a flash cure. Going to go in and finish with her left hand before going in and chroming that. And then we're going to move on to the last part of the design, which is going to be the 3D flower. All right, since I am only doing the 3D flower on two of her nails, her ring finger on each hand, I went ahead and I finished off the other nails. I base coated, top coated them. They are secured and all finished. I did base coat on her ring fingers just to go ahead and protect the decoration, the design in the gold filigree. So just in case something happens, I make a mistake, I need to wipe the nail, I don't end up wiping off the design. So that is all set and secure, going in with Trippy Gel from Nails by Dev. It is, I forgot what it's called. Plasticine. It's plasticine gel, kind of clay-like in structure. You can use a clear, um, I'm losing my words today. A solid nail glue. Whenever I use clear, I use a solid nail glue from a cart. This is basically the same thing. It's a little bit drier. You can work with it a little bit better. It's not going to be as tacky for whatever reasons. Maybe because the colored ones have the colorant in it, so it changes the structure. It makes it a little bit more pliable, a little less tacky. The clear is going to be move a little bit more, a little bit more finesse to work with it. But I love using, especially if I'm not going to color it afterwards. If I want a white flower, I'm not going to use a clear solid nail glue. I'm going to go in and use a white plasticine clay gel, so that can go ahead and just, top coat over if you want to. And that way it's all finished. It's one and done. You don't have to worry about painting it out white. It already is white. And the clay gel is also dry, non-tacky, so you really don't have to do anything after it's cured. You can just go in, cure the flower, and the set's all finished. I did the flower on her right hand a little differently than on her left hand. I did 2 petals, cured it, and then went and finished it off. I did not think ahead into the fact that I wanted to adhere a rhinestone in the center of the flower. So now that those 2 petals were cured, I couldn't sink the charm in. I had to glue it in because it was already hard. There was nothing to push the rhinestone into. So you'll see, after I finish this flower, I go ahead and I go back in with my e-file and my precision cuticle bit to go ahead and drill a little hole to sink the rhinestone into. But this one, I'm going ahead and doing all 5 petals at once, and then I'm going to sink the rhinestone into it and cure it that way. I did end up having to pop that rhinestone out because there was a flaw in it. The rhinestones that I chose are a beautiful champagne, kind of like a rose gold. But for whatever reason, the one that I chose out of the box was silver, which I didn't realize until after I cured and compared the two. So I ended up having to pop it out and replace it with glue anyway. But a good trick is, if you want to add rhinestones to plasticine gel decoration, go ahead and do the whole design first. Sink the rhinestones in where you want them. That way they're really embedded into the plasticine gel or the solid nail glue. Cure it, and then you can go ahead and top coat around it. That is what I ended up doing with this nail. Like I said, you don't need top coat, but if you want to embed rhinestones, you will need to make sure that it's embedded properly. So after she cured this hand, and you can see even in the video it's silver, not champagne gold, I went in with matte top coat to go ahead and seal around the rhinestones to make sure that they stayed. Going in with a little bit of glue and the champagne rhinestone. She's going to cure that in the lamp, and then I'm going to matte top coat around it so that it stays nice and snug as a bug in a rug. So that's going to finish this set. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you always know when new videos are available, and I will see you in the next one.